Judgment time.
Welcome to Everything Comes Back to 2000 AD, and today I'm joined by Mr. Stephen Ross.
Mr. Rossi, what you want? Oh, the tree of ice cream cones, a cocoa castle full of home, custard cakes, coffee breaks, holiday, we're on the stage.
Hello from, I don't know, sometimes sunny, sometimes cloudy. I think the sky has been seeded by AI Atlas, Southern California.
Mr. John Burtis.
Hello to all you druckers out there from the dreary garden of England, which is good because it means those vineyards just up the road from me will produce world-class wines once again when it's time to fucking pick those fucking grapes.
You really do live in a beautiful town, John. I'm not going to lie.
I do. Like I say, I walk down the street to go to the town centre and I walk past history. The church, which has the history of the American flag in, or go over
that'll be replaced by a mosque in a few years.
Oh, we've got a mosque in the town, but it doesn't look mosquish.
Do they do the call for prayer? Or like?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything above it. I walk across a Roman bridge. There's almshouses. There's a historic carriage museum, which I took Sam in once. Interesting, but not fantastic. Loads of stuff like that, and it's all within that short space. Then we've got a place just outside of the town, which is it's part of the what do you call them fucking lunatics who go on their fucking pilgrimage things. It's got a relic in this place, just in the outskirts of the town, down Aylesford area. Aylesford Priory it is. So there's quite a lot of stuff close by. I mean, you got Rochester, which has got lots of historic stuff, and then you got Canterbury, which is full of stuff. But we've got a nice big segment, which is very close to each other. But that's all from people who've long died. And that's a nice segue to talk about deaths, baby.
You got a river, too.
We'll get to the river because that's the river of death, but that's for later. Another death in the river, which we'll get to. Fucking hell, it's never ending. But let's get on with it.
Go.
Here we go. First up, Terry Yorath, age 75, Welsh footballer. He died the other day, and he's played for quite a few clubs. Leeds, that was his main one. Coventry, Tottenham Hotspur. Then he went and did Vancouver Whitecaps, and then he degraded and went to Bradford City and Swansea. He was the Welsh manager for a while. He also played for Wales. 59 appearances, 2 goals. He was a midfielder. And let me just get this. His daughter, Gabby Logan, anyone in the UK will know, she's a TV presenter for sports. She was actually presenting Match of the Day, I think it was. That's it. She was presenting Match of the Day live, but then she had to disappear and be replaced by Mark Chapman. And I've seen the clip. He just said Gabby's had to leave because of a family emergency. He must have known what it was, because he looked quite shocked and sad when he said it. And so, yeah, quite sad for her, because it's always weird when you're a famous, I wouldn't even call her a Nepo baby, you know what I mean? Because she's worked her way through her stuff. She's earned a fucking sort of the respect to do Ep815 and stuff. She's not been sort of just parachuted in and said, "Yeah, you did this, you can have that." But she's put in a good fucking, I don't know, 20 odd years on telly, I think. But yeah, so it's obviously quite sad. But yeah, these things happen. But yes, so there we are. A Welsh person has died. There we are.
Well,
Terry
once you're born, you start dying, so it's going to happen.
That's
all of
right.
us, you know.
Then we got TCC Carter, 69, who this is American actor. Now, he was in stuff like Southern Comfort, excellent. The Thing, fucking awesome. And then in a couple of other things like Runaway Train and Space Jam and things like that. What else was he in TV? It was all filmography. It is. I don't think there's anything TV. Let me just scroll down to the very bottom. Yeah, it's all movie. Oh no, I tell you, they've mixed it all up. Fucking hell, they've mixed TV up. They've got filmography and it's got TV stuff in it because it's in episodes. So yeah, let's have a look and see who's any TV. Oh, he was in the Waltons.
Was he black? For some reason,
What's his
I'm
name
trying
again?
to picture what he looked like.
Racist. Yes. Oh, fuck me. It's the fuck is this here? This has come up TK Carter, but it's the same person. Yeah. Where's it at? TV stuff. So he was in the Waltons. He was in the Jeffersons. I've heard of that one. And then obviously the couple of big films that we've enjoyed over the years. Come on, Ski Patrol. I've heard of that one. The Sinbad Show, 24 episodes. And it was a main role. He had that. Gregory Hines Show. The only thing I've ever remembered Gregory Hines from was that fucking film, bloody about 30 odd years ago, where I think he did dancing in it or something with the Russians or something.
Yeah. Narrator, wasn't it?
He was in NYPD Blue for one episode. See, what he didn't really do much in his career, apart from those two films that I really enjoy, and I know a lot of other people liked.
Wait a minute, are you talking about Gregory Hines or the guy who died?
No, the guy who died, because he did the Thing and Southern Comfort, which I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that since I watched it when I was in the army. Bloody hell. Yeah. Anyway, so there we go. Next one up, which I think Flint put on, but I'd already written it down. Bob Weir, age 78, American musician, co-founder of the Grateful Dead. So the thing I always feel with the Grateful Dead is I couldn't name one song off the top of my head, but I'm sure if somebody played a load of their songs, I'd go, oh yeah. But it just, to me, I think over here, for a lot more people, I think the name is more famous than their actual fucking content. You know what I mean?
So, famously, I prefer bands that had good music videos. And the only one that I remember of the Grateful Dead was a song called A Touch of Grey, which they did after MTV had come along. Touch of God, yes. Touch of Gay? No, Touch of Grey. And which they did when they were old already. Or well, you know, there's 80s old, which was like being a rock star in your 30s, pushing 40. And then there's like now old, where they're fucking 80 years old and still out there performing and just putting on their armor and paint. But that video was god awful, like the most low effort music video one of the most low effort. So immediately I was like, I can't. First of all, I already didn't like the hippie shit, and then it was like, this music video is terrible. And then the only other thing I know from them is the riding that train high on cocaine, and their reputation for like 5-hour concerts with 20-minute guitar solos. And they're feds. They were actually they were part of that Laurel Canyon thing where the CIA came in and was trying to experiment with LSD on the youth.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so they were like propagandists for that.
Right. Okay, and the next one, we got Ulf Granberg, aged 80, Swedish comics creator. Not much on this person, but one little bit of interest. Granberg served as editor for the Swedish Phantom magazine for 2 periods, and he also wrote around 30 scripts for the publication. He was recognised for his significant impact on the Phantom character in Sweden and globally. And Granberg also worked on other comic magazines and translated comics. Mr. Rossi did.
We were brothers.
That's it. Right, next one. We've got Marcus Gilbert, age 67, a British actor who was in things such as, again, a couple of these are just sort of picked out. We wouldn't even know him if you saw him in the lineup, but he was in Rambo 3, Army of Darkness, and he was also in some Doctor Who stuff.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
not much
he's
at all.
from your neck of the woods, eh?
Yeah. So if you go onto like Wiki, his filmography from 83 to 2015, it's about a dozen things. So it's like The Masks of Death, Biggles, like I said, Rambo 3, Doctor Who, Ghost in Monte Carlo, Army of Darkness, Murder She Wrote, Freebird. So fucking not much apart from a couple of films that we've enjoyed. All right,
Was
and
Biggles
the final
that
one,
action movie with Phil Collins, where he plays a
action movie?
pilot?
Ooh,
Biggles.
Oh, Biggles. Let me just go on that then, see what comes up. Biggles, where's it gone? Biggles. There it is, Biggles. No, the film stars Alex Hyde White. Ooh, biddy. Peter Cushing in his final feature film role. Doesn't mention him. Anyway, so that's that one. And the final name I have, which I just saw earlier, and I laughed. I've only put this name. I've added this name because of one thing. Sheila Burnett, aged 94, British actress and singer, and she was in stuff like let's have a look, scroll down. She was in a few films, which included The Magnificent Seven Deadly Sins, Who Misses, Eskimo Nell, What's Up Nurse. You can guess all these sort of things, sort of like, right? But TV wise, she was in stuff, Butterflies, little minor roles. These were the Rise and Fall of Reginald Perrin. She was in The Candid Camera. She was in Coronation Street, The Dick Emery Show, Two of a Kind. But my favourite one, just purely for madness, she was a regular singer from 67 to 69 in The Black and White Minstrel Show.
Oh. Is it what it sounds like?
Yes, it is, Mr. Ross.
Oh my God.
That went up into the late 80s, I think, didn't it?
Well, the episode she was in was I'm going to say The Black and White Minstrel Show is a British light entertainment show on BBC primetime television that ran from 1958 to 78. The weekly variety show presented traditional American minstrel and country songs, as well as show tunes and music hall numbers. Yeah, so as you just scroll the curse onto the Black and White Minstrel Show, it shows the first 3 people are very tanned, but they didn't seem to get tanned around their eyes or their lips.
Wow.
But yeah, so when the BBC fucking preach all this shit, a lot of people say to them, "Have you seen what you produced over the years?"
Yeah.
But yes, so there are the deaths. But on a side note, as was mentioned earlier about the River Medway in my town, there was another death. It claimed another person. It was a bloke. I think he was in his 50s or something. And I just thought, fuck me, there's another one to add to the ever-growing list. I mean, we have no railings down by the river, apart from one area. And I'm just like, I don't care what the investment is for the council. They need to fucking put railings up there. You know what I mean? It's just fucking protection. And then weirdly, I was in the house with Carolyn, and there was a knock at the door. And I went towards, and I saw the person was like in sort of like black blue, and he had like a, because you can see from the back of the house, the front, right through who's at the front door, because we've got glass. And he had like a fucking dangly fucking name thing on his chest. Opened the door, and he went, and I saw another person walk right past, and another person walking down the path to next door. And he went, hello, I'm with the police, nothing to be worried about. And I just replied instantly, well, no, I've got nothing to be worried about. And then he went on about, apparently the person who drowned in the river had been seen in this area. So they were just asking people if they had any CCTV footage from door cameras, hot cars and stuff, to find out what he'd been up to. But
did
obviously
you comply?
sad.
Did you have anything?
No, we don't have it, because we can just see straight through our door, can't we? So we don't need a camera. But obviously, it's a sad thing. But like I said, why do they not put something up by the river to protect people? Because if you're going to kill yourself and commit suicide, you're going to do it, right? But if somebody's drunk and they're walking home and they walk by the river and they trip or they slip or whatever and they go into the river, they're not going to survive, because it's got a fast current a little bit lower than the surface. I mean, the surface is quite fast, but you've got like an alternate currents and shit at different levels. And the side of the river, depending on what angles it's at, all this sort of shit I learned in the military. It can be fast or it can be slow, depending on where it's moving and all that. So it annoys me that they don't do stuff like that, because they'll waste money on other fucking shit as they do. But one thing, that river, like I've joked over the years, it's claimed so many fucking lives of different ages. Just fucking invest in it. But anyway, and reference like investing in stuff, a couple of houses up the street, they got some builders in there where sadly the lady whose husband died about 6 months ago has moved on. So the house got sold. Now it's getting fucking vamped for about 1,000 Somalians probably. Anyway, so Carolyn said to me that she'd seen one of the builders pouring stuff down the drain on the side of the road outside our house. And I'm like, when did you see that? She goes, oh, last night when they were finishing up. I said, right. So I'm in my Jim Jam bottoms and me sports sandals, and I just fucking walk straight out the fucking door. Walks up, looks at the drain, sees all the fucking, I can see it's fucking cement dust, the colour of it.
Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah. I walks up the fucking road, there's the fucking boss man, and excuse me, mate. I said, you've been pouring shit down that fucking drain. And he goes, just cleaning stuff. I said, no. I said, I've just looked, that's cement dust. He goes, no, it's not. I said, look, mate, I'm a fucking ex-royal engineer. I fucking built buildings and shit for part of my career. I know what it fucking is. And I can see it just there in them bags. He goes, no, that's not cement. I said, well, hang on a second. So I pulls the fucking tarpaulin back. I said, what's that word say? Cement. I said, you've got a fucking concrete mixer here. What are you fucking building the fucking back of the house up with then? Fucking dust. He's like, oh. I said, I'll tell you what, mate. I see you do it again, I'll report to the council. I said, the only reason I'm not going to report to the council now is I've got fucking things to do. I said, but if I see stuff, and I said, you can watch me now as I walk back down the street and take a picture of that fucking thing so I can compare any difference over the next few days to see if there's different sort of like great amounts of fucking cement that have sort of blocked up. I said, you don't fucking pour shit down there. He's like, oh, we've not been doing it. I said, don't fucking lie, mate. I said, I can fucking see it. I'm not blind. Fucking hell. So that was that. But they haven't done anything since.
Russie got knocked off the call.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so he moved his phone in a way that knocked off the call.
Fucking hell.
So let's see if we can get him back.
What's he like?
I don't know. But you missed the death.
Oh, go on then.
But we'll do it when Russie comes back in.
I've requested him, see if he's going to answer.
So have I. There's no answer from him. Let me let the dog out while he's fucking around. Come outside.
Yeah. That'll have been him messaging on it. No. Mm.
Right. I absolutely hate this because it's a pain in the ass to edit, slice, and put together.
Yeah.
Well, let me hang up and get him the call.
Okie dokie. Last week we had over here a thing on the news about fucking the weather, and it was like snow that was coming in, blah blah blah. Oh, it's going to be a foot here and a foot there, like Scotland and Wales and all that sort of shit. And then it was a tiny fluttering in Kent, and the Meridian News, which is the local ITV news, went fucking overboard with fucking going bonkers about saying, "Oh my God, look at it!" And I'm just like, it was gone when I went to sleep. There was no snow. When I woke up, there was no snow. It had happened when I was asleep, and it was gone when I woke up. And you just think, and they fucking that all night in the news, it was like this, that, and the other, and I'm just sat there laughing, going, the problem is everything is a catastrophe in this country, no matter how small it is. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like at the moment we've got like some water leaks around Kent and Sussex and places, and it's like, fuck me, it's the end of the world. And I'm like, no wonder fucking children have these anxieties when the news can't fucking report news properly anymore. You know what I mean? It's fucking insane. But
Well, they do the same over here.
Yeah, well, plus it's 24/7. Before it was like 24/7 on CNN only, and now it's like 24/7 from like everywhere. So
yeah.
Well, John, you missed the death.
Go on then.
The death of Renee Nicole Good.
Good on it.
The ICE agitator. They have her down as a legal observer, which doesn't exist. A legal observer of immigration, whatever. That's bullshit. She was an instigator. She wasn't just legally observing; she was putting herself right into the story. And they all do this. Every single one of them do this, and they expect nothing to happen. It was only a matter of time before there was a tragedy. Only a matter of time. And when a law enforcement officer tells you to get out of your van or get out of your vehicle, you get out of your vehicle. End of story. And you don't have your wife or your partner shout, what was it? Drive, baby, drive. Or go, baby, go. You don't have that. That's just, what did you expect? And then somebody on camera said, "You're using live bullets, real bullets." What? They're law enforcement. What do you expect them to do? Hit you with fucking marshmallows?
yeah,
And the thing is, they're all doing this. They're all part of Ice Watch, right? Which they're trying their best to slow down immigration officers from doing their job. Okay, the ICE people, the ICE guys, enforcement were there to remove a child predator, an illegal guy in the country that was a child predator. And here's this woman trying to protect a child predator.
Oh, is that the backstory? Because
yeah, that's the guy they were going after.
Totally has not been widely reported here. Wow.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it was. If you're in the country illegally, you're in the country illegally. Get the fuck out. And the thing is, the majority of people that are arrested are rapists and child predators.
So there was another video that went viral. I don't know, feels like weeks or months ago, and it was another couple of women. One of them parked their SUV.
It's always white. It's always white liberal women.
Didn't she lose custody of two of their children because of their fucking horrendous attitude to life, sort of thing? I won't go into what she supposedly done, but she lost her custody of two of her three children because of her not being able to fucking do the decent thing.
Yeah, and she moved to Minnesota just to do the whole Ice Watch thing.
Well, there was also like again, some of this stuff gets reported once, and then I think the reporters get told. But apparently, like the baby daddy, offed himself. I
think she had two ex-husbands, they're both dead, which is kind of suspicious. But here's the thing: it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter about her personal life. If you fuck around with the police officers over here, something bad's going to happen to you. And it's it's getting out of hand where guys are doing their jobs. And I understand it. It's like one movie, two screens. Like the left don't see what they're doing as wrong. They're
Right.
seeing as they think they're standing up to Nazis, and I think because they've been brainwashed. They've absolutely been brainwashed. More people have been deported under Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, and yet you didn't have these protests.
I know.
Right.
So I mean, it was a tragedy that she got killed. Now the officer has every right to defend himself, and if he felt endangered by her, she did hit him. But if he felt endangered by her, then he was in his rights for self-defense, and you will see that come out. I mean, the thing is, thank God we live in an age where we have multiple camera angles and we're able to record all this, because if all you saw in the news was the first video that they had, and not from the ICE officer's point of view, you would have the whole cities would have burned. But because they have all these other camera angles of video of the ICE officer, you can see that it's the truth. I mean, she hit him.
Well, speaking of which,
And even if he didn't, and listen, and even if she didn't hit him, she's not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to interfere with law enforcement. If she was supposed to be as they say, a legal observer, you observe, you don't interfere, you don't intervene, you don't block the roads.
Well,
you see, I was going to say, I've mentioned this a few times over the years. Now, when we were out years ago, me and Carolyn, and I took the car out of the airport in San Francisco, and I couldn't get it to get into the next gear. And I'm thinking, what the fuck's wrong with this? I pulled over at the hard shoulder, and a cop car pulled, as I was quickly getting the manual out to quickly have a look why the fuck I couldn't get into gear, unless, to me, an American car's fully automatic. I didn't realise if I clicked the fucking cross slightly, I was fully automatic. I wasn't. I was in semi-automatic. So I fucking got the manual out and sat there, and all of a sudden, whip, 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 whip. Oh, fuck me, the police are behind me. I'll just go and tell them that what's happened. Gets out the car, starts walking. Get back in your car! Turns round, gets back in the car. And then I drives off slowly down the road to get to a housing estate to then fucking open the book. Now, I'm not American, but when the police officer told me to get back in the car, I got back in the fucking car.
You mean you didn't argue with him? You didn't argue with him. You didn't call him names and argue with him and insult him.
That's right.
You mean there might have been something dangerous that they were trying to steer you away from, John?
No. I was on the hard shoulder, wasn't I? Just stationary. So he didn't want me on the hard shoulder. That's what I'm presuming.
Oh, okay.
So I had to get off the hard shoulder. Where the UK, the hard shoulder is you pull over there in an emergency, and an emergency is I shouldn't be driving down the freeway at 5 miles an hour. You know what I mean?
Got off easy because you're super white.
That's right.
I'm surprised no, that's not the reason. That's not the reason. I mean, you're lucky that the officer didn't see the color of your hair. You would have been shot on sight.
Right. That's right.
Ginger.
Yeah.
That's it. Ah, dear.
Well, it's not like your soul would be crowding anyone out of heaven. So
that's right. That's it.
So the thing is, before I was so rudely interrupted, there was another viral video where someone had parked their SUV right in front of the ICE headquarters driveway. And as the officers came out to tell them to move, they were like putting the cameras in their faces, the phones in their faces, and saying, I just have a question. I just have a question. And then it ended with the person being hauled away, and they were struggling so much to resist arrest that her pants fell down.
Oh, I've seen that one.
Yeah. So again, it's like there's protesting where you could protest on the sidewalk and across
there's
the street.
Peaceful protest. That's not protesting though. That's interfering with police procedures or law enforcement procedures. If they wanted to, they could arrest her and charge her with a felony.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there. I'm just sitting here on my chair in the house here, going like, well, that's resisting arrest, and that's interference, and that's illegal parking, and it's like 3 things they could get them on, and the same thing with this other lady, parking the car like right in the middle of in the heat of things, and it's like, folks, and it's like you said too with Obama and Clinton. There was a video showing Obama saying like, you will speak English and you will if you're not here legally, get out. And he's talking tougher than, at least as tough as Trump was about the issue. And the difference is, one, there were no phone in 2008 when he was president. There were no phones, so people weren't recording everything. Least of all recording themselves, because that's like an important part of the thing, is to get in the heat of things. And I got a viral video of me protesting or asking officers tough questions or whatever.
Yeah, they have to have their YouTube moment.
Right, or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And so that's one. And two, half the country didn't absolutely despise those like, even if you voted against Bush, Obama or Clinton, you're just kind of like, oh well, this will be over in 4 to 8 years. And it isn't like now where it's like they absolutely despise him and will do anything to, finger quotes, resist.
Well, when you have
everything he says or does,
when you have your political leaders comparing ICE to the Gestapo, that's what you get.
Yeah, that's true. We got
I would lock up. I would sue the politicians if I was that woman. Just say that was my sister that did that. I would see her as completely brainwashed by the left, and I would sue whatever politician that compared ICE to Gestapo, and any organization that encouraged her to do that, because they have ICE Watch have all these leaflets they hand out on how best to actually stop or impede ICE from doing their jobs. So any organization that puts leaflets like that out there, I would sue the crap out of them.
Oh, that Karlin Borisenko lady on YouTube, the crazy one that I like. She snuck in on one of their Zoom chats on how they're planning to use this to have mass protests.
Well, what's interesting. Sorry, Rossi. What they're interested they're trying to do is they're trying to make it a George Floyd moment, because they're saying, well, George Floyd died just a block away from it. It's got nothing. It's the fact is that we have so many cameras on there, and we saw the truth. You're not going to have your George Floyd moment with this woman. It's not going to happen.
Well, that's what that Borisenko lady was saying, is that the only thing that's stopping it from being a George Floyd thing, in her opinion, was it's so fucking cold in Minnesota that nobody's going to go out and that to have a riot. If it had, she thinks that if it had been like the middle of spring or whatever, that it would be a different story.
No, I think it's because of the footage came out to show that the officer actually was hit.
Well, and I was going to say that too. Like I don't even bother with the conspiracy website anymore, because like the independent reporters on YouTube are enough. They do a pretty good job with both sides. And I had seen the one camera where it looks like she was just trying to get away, and then on one of the independents, I forgot who it was, showed the other camera where it's like, oh yeah, she hit that guy. She totally hit that guy. Whether it was
you saw from the
hit that guy.
You saw from the ICE officer's point of view where she did hit him. But the thing is, even if she was, you don't know what her intentions were, right? If she wanted to run over him or she's trying to get away, it doesn't matter what her intentions are. It really doesn't. Mm-hmm. She was told to stop and get out of the vehicle. End of story. She was told to stop and get out.
Even if she. It still was going to end with her going to jail. I mean, there's no two ways about it. All her committing the crime was right there on camera when she parked that fucking car in the middle of the thing and wasn't complying with the officers. So it's like, what are you going to do? It's dumb. Also, you talk about the opposite side. I think it was only ever aired once, and I happened to catch it. Steven Crowder got the body cam footage from the cops who were trying to arrest George Floyd, like the whole thing from when they arrived on the scene to talking to him, talking to the lady he was with, talking to the bystanders, trying to load him into the police SUV, all the other stuff. And
he was a sacrificial lamb.
He was.
That police officer was a sacrificial lamb to the woke mob. That's what he was, and I feel bad for him.
Well, so whatever you think about that guy, the entire process prior to that, he had already been, George Floyd had already been like arrested like what, 8-9 times or something like that. I don't know how many of them were serious, like felonies.
Like putting a gun to a pregnant woman's belly.
That could be one of the felonies.
It is one of the felonies.
So yeah, so they, I mean, they got Trump on some kind of money thing, that so they could say that he's a convicted felon, and it's like, well, what for? And it's like, oh, for some crime that had passed the statute of limitations, and the bank that was supposedly scammed said no, it's fine. Anyway, this body cam footage of George Floyd, he's trying to drive, he gets into this little dinky pickup truck that looks tiny compared to him, and they tried to get him out, and he's like, mouthing off, and he wasn't violent, but they tried to load him into he was basically acting like a guy who knew that the 10th time could be a long time for him. So they try to get him in this SUV, and they make him very comfortable. He's got the whole back seat to himself, blah blah blah, and right then he started screaming, "I can't breathe," that he's claustrophobic. He's got like more room in the back of that SUV than he did in that teeny tiny truck he was going to drive away, and he's yelling, "I can't breathe." The cops were very respectful to him, to the woman he was with. There were some bystanders. They said, "Hey, could you stand here?" Those people complied. It was as routine as can be until they tried to put him in the SUV, and then he asked them to take him out. They had him on. That's why they had him on the ground. And so I'm not saying like the end of it was handled like 100% perfectly, but it doesn't. You think that like they hauled him out and threw him on the ground and gave him a few good kicks the way they presented it on the news for that summer, but it was a very routine procedure until the end.
Well, as long as these legal observers keep getting in the way of ICE doing their job, you're going to see more and more of this. And
right.
I mean, it's a tragedy because I think the woman's brainwashed, and so was her partner. I mean,
Yeah.
you saw the images of her when she's protesting, where she has trans kids, needs all this kind of usual lefty bullshit, far left bullshit.
Right.
And so it's like, I feel bad for her family. I feel bad that their kids, if they had any relationship with her at all, won't have a mother. But dude, you fuck around, you find out. End of story. This isn't playtime.
Well,
You're stopping
also,
law enforcement from removing people in the country that are here illegally.
I wonder, what? I just had a thought. I wonder how long, like, the protesting went on in the 60s and into the 70s. Like, wasn't like 68 the big civil rights stuff when that happened? Because I kind of remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I think they were kind of like doing this boomer thing where it's like 50 years of civil rights, and it was like front page news on our boomer newspaper. All newspapers now are like boomer newspapers. If it's still like printed on paper and sold on newsstands, the only ones buying them are boomers. Then they were like 50 years of civil rights because we want our boomers to feel good about themselves and buy our paper. Anyway, the if like though didn't those protests go on for like maybe 3 years, 5 years tops, and then they kind of stopped. Now and again something would flare up, but they kind of stopped because everyone was like, yeah, this part of it's right. We better give it some civil rights and put that in the law. And feminism
it stopped because most of the hippies went into politics and became the things that they hated.
That's true. They became the yuppies, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're right. But it seems like once the problem was solved enough for most people, it was like, okay, this is about as many people as we can agree on both sides that we need civil rights. Women need more rights than they've had. We didn't go far enough with just the right to vote. and in the war, or not so much because of the hippies protesting, but like, shit, we're losing money on this. So okay, we'll have the war roll to a stop. And then everybody was miserable for most of the 70s because it was like the national hangover. And then everybody discovered cocaine in the 80s and had a totally bitchin' time. So, but right now it's like the protesting thing just, it feels like it's just been going on for so long. And it's like, if you haven't convinced people by now for some of this stuff, you're not going to convince them ever. There's like this middle point where you have to go, okay, we're not going to ever reach 100% on this, but it's livable.
If you don't like what ICE is doing, then, or what this president is doing, then you don't vote Republican the next election. End of story.
Yeah, that's a pretty good tip. Yeah. So, because anyway,
the reason he won in the landslide that he did, getting a popular vote and just trouncing the opposition, was because people voted for it. Right. So if you don't like what he's doing or what that party is doing, you vote them out next time.
Right. And then you live with it. You live with it like a good neighbor.
I don't like paying taxes, but I'm not going to ram a fucking vehicle into the IRS.
Maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So, well, I tell you, speaking of good ideas, I'm gonna not touch this phone so we don't get disconnected again.
Well, if you get disconnected, you won't be back on.
Yeah, I know. I want to avoid that.
I can't believe you didn't mention the best fucking video of the last few days from America.
Oh, the guy punching the crap out of people.
There's a bloke with an American flag, and he's got this knobhead in a red coat, red torsoed coat, and a purple umbrella, I think it is, putting a fucking megaphone right next to his ear on its squeal setting.
That's one of the things that they do as well. Yeah.
Now that can deafen you because it's mega loud.
It cause you damage in your ears.
So eventually he punches him and he goes down. Then the camera follows him as all the lunatics follow this bloke and try to attack him, and he knocks them all down. Then the bloke in the red coat gets up and he comes right in front of the camera, does a sort of like throws his gloves off. He says something like, "I'll get this fucker," something like that. Goes up, fucking thinking he's all Mr. Big, doing a little bit of a shuffle, and gets poleaxed with one fucking left punch. And it is absolutely glorious to see because, fuck around, find out. He saw instantly, you thought you were being clever by doing that, you got put in your ass, and now you got poleaxed for the whole world. The whole world can see it in perpetuity. We will always look at that. If you're feeling down, just put that video on and laugh your fucking knob off. It's brilliant.
Yeah. You can protest. You can peacefully protest. That's fine. The minute you start causing property damage or start acting the bollocks, you deserve the shit you're gonna get. End of story.
Yeah.
We've any listener that was anyway to the left of the spectrum is completely raging at us and has stopped listening, or maybe they hate listening.
I just say to them, if somebody from the right or anything, middle, whatever, came up to you and put a loudspeaker next to your ear and switched it onto the siren, would you sit there and just go, "Oh, cheers for that, for damaging my ears"?
No, I'd be like, you're every right to hit that right-wing fucker in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, well. Anyways.
Hey, I'm back.
Well, it's lovely to see.
I'm back.
Anyways.
And what other? Let's talk about other things that are lovely to see, like films and TV series. Eh?
Oh well, let's talk Kickstarter first.
Oh my God!
Rossi? Kickstarter Korner. You got anything, Rossi?
Nah, I haven't contributed. I'm 50-50 because on February 5th, this book called Luchadores versus Everything is going to come out. And I know a couple of the people. I either personally know or know of a couple of the people behind the scenes in it, and I'm 50-50 about it because they have this sort of like hipster slant to the whole luchador thing, and I'm like, oh, I just was hoping it would be history of the films, but now they're bringing in like art and trying to make it this pop cultural thing, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I just wanted to see pictures from the movies and some behind the scenes stuff, and now it's going to be.
Did you have that Santa shirt that John showed you?
No, I didn't get it because, well, boy, you talk about me not paying attention. No, I said that it's an awesome shirt. The place is based in Canada, so
that's right.
It's too expensive.
Too much.
And the other they had some martial arts movies like Master of the Flying Guillotine. Like I would have totally gotten at least 3 shirts if they had had a deal, but they're like $30, and I was like, and that was before the postage.
$30 and you're whinging. Fucking hell.
What?
Well, he's on a tight budget.
That's about 22 quid.
Yeah, but he lives in California. He's on a tight budget.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, you've got to pay all your taxes to help other people enjoy themselves.
I look for bargains like it's a game, man. Like the T Public when they have their $14, $15 T-shirts. That's when I swoop in and make some deals. So anyway, I don't really. So that's the only Kickstarter I'm contemplating, and I already told you a story we'll put on our Patreon about someone who wasn't happy with your Kickstarter, but just kidding. We don't have a Patreon.
What I usually get is when I fulfill a Kickstarter, I usually get. You sent out the tracking number for the postage for the item. I didn't get my tracking number. Do you have it? And I'm gonna look it up and go, dude, you ordered digital copy.
Yeah.
Well, you get a lot of that.
Well, I don't hear about. The only thing I heard about was one guy. This was for the Your one. One guy who, like, the day after the thing ended, said he ordered a digital copy and he wanted it, and he just kept putting stuff in the comments like, when am I going to get my thing? When am I going to get it? And it's kind of like, and part of the story, part of the Patreon story was that Anarch Press wasn't very quick to respond to the customers' concerns. And so this guy was like, hey, and so they, like you said, crickets. So Anarch Press did not respond at first. But the thing is, like, one thing I've learned from Flint, from you, is that Kickstarter doesn't pay the creator right away. There's like a lag time. I've heard that what they do is they invest that money and collect interest on it, while they, finger quotes, review it. And so that's why there's that lag. But and then if during that window he decided to withdraw his contribution, he could have gotten it for free. I don't think he wanted that. I think he was just like, really, really wanting to get his digital copy ASAP, which is flattering, but so.
Yeah, I don't send out stuff until I get till the money's in the coffers now, because I got stung by that before.
Yeah. And rightfully so. I mean, before Kickstarter was like, and you're going to get this. Now we're going to take the money that you contributed and use it to finish the project. And once the project is finished, you'll get it. So expect it in 3 to 6 months, or in some cases 5 years. So anyway, that's the only. I think that's the only Kickstarter story.
I do get that. I do get that, where they're looking for postage, like the tracker for it, and I'm like, dude, you got the digital copy, so you don't get that. And I think what happens is that they go in and they want the physical copy, and then they change their mind like a few days later, and then they're like, well, what, I didn't get my physical copy, which is an understandable mistake. It's not the first time it's happened a few times. As far as Caretakers issue 2 done, I have all the artwork, the interior artwork done, lettered. I'm just coloring in the last 3 pages, and then I have to do the front cover, inside front, back cover, and inside back, and that's it. It's done. So I'm hopefully get that done this week and out the door, and probably put up a Kickstarter at the end of next week, for February. Yeah, so that's it. So TV's a movie, John. What have you seen? Well, what have you seen?
I've only seen Landman, but I'll just let John talk about it.
I was just prepping the tea for Carolyn when she gets back. Anyway, here we go. Film I watched last night because I was bored out my fucking head. Sisu, Road to Revenge, the second film.
Yeah.
1 hour 29, 2025, 15 rated, 6.9 IMDb, starring Jorma Tamila, Stephen Lang, Richard Brake, and a load of others that I couldn't pronounce.
So this is the one you were hesitant about because you'd already seen all the deaths.
Yeah, I hadn't seen one whole section though, so I enjoyed that in particular. But it was just like, it's you watch the Rambo and all that, and he does a few things, and you're like, yeah, okay, then you're not going to get in. You're going to get injured a little bit, and this, that, and the other. Fair one, and then other sort of indestructible heroes. And this is it to the extreme, because one of the things that happens to him is he gets his back fucking flayed open. I mean, you're talking welts are about 1 inch wide open. But that's just one of the things that happens to him. But there's a sequence on the train where he goes through these carriages where there's troops in. Some are asleep. And that sequence I kept laughing at because of things that happen, which I won't say because if you haven't watched it yet, you'll know exactly what I mean. But then he gets some weapons and it's like fucking unleashing hell, and that bit, like I say, I've not seen any of those clips online yet, but everything else, every single other scene that was action I'd seen online. So I just watched it while I was doing other stuff and just sort of looked up when it got to the action. It was enjoyable, but I should have just stuck at the first one, you know what I mean? Because there's nothing added to it.
Well, this one was a lot cartoonier. I felt.
Yeah.
It was like even more.
You know
ridiculous.
what I mean, don't you? In the carriage when everyone's just sleeping and they all keep turning over, don't you?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, for fuck's. And then there's a bit where, that was it. Some glass gets broken, and he's barefoot, and I'm thinking,
oh yeah.
Why did you have to stand on it? Why couldn't you just swept it with your foot to the side, or stepped over it? And then he rolls onto the bottom of the glass jam jar thing. And it crushes into his back. And I'm like, for fuck's sakes, man. You know what I mean? I know he's like indestructible killer type thing, but he isn't. But it's like, oh, for God's sake.
It's all part of it's in that, what was that other one? Boy Kills World or something like that from years ago. There was something like that. It was just cartoonish, like a Roadrunner cartoon, as if they actually drew blood, that kind of thing. So it's fine.
But the thing is, it's like which like I'll go back to Rambo. So Rambo does all these things. Well, why didn't he just go out to Vietnam by himself and win that war? Because he was so fucking awesome. It's the same as this bloke. You know what I mean? He managed to kill everybody without getting. Well, he does get injured, but even that bit where he's strung up and he manages to get his feet onto the ceiling and push down to push the fucking the screws out of the ceiling. And I'm thinking to myself, he's going to break his neck because he's forcing on that angle. Well, he's going to go fucking screaming towards the ground, which is like 3 foot away from his neck, and kill himself. But obviously they edited it so he landed at a different angle. But but that was just me sort of going, for fuck's sakes. But
that's like the first movie, like Rambo, the first movie was First Blood, which was pretty believable.
Which he should have died in, because he did die.
And then the second one becomes a cartoon, so, and that, I mean,
you're not expendable, Rambo.
You can't just turn it off. Nothing.
You only
Nothing
met
is
her.
over.
My kid had never seen that movie. He's seen the one where he goes into what was it? What's the
Afghanistan.
one?
Afghanistan.
No. Fourth one, the one where he goes
Oh,
into
Vietnam. Doesn't he
Cambodia
go
or
back to
somewhere.
Vietnam?
Cambodia, someplace like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'd never seen the second one. He's seen the second one. He goes, he's only known this woman for an hour.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
you take me to America, Rambo. You take me to America. I was like, oh my God, you're like, it's like so bad. And then when he saw the third one, the third Rambo movie, he's like, oh my God, the Afghanistan one. Holy
Yeah.
crap, he was laughing his ass off at it.
Who didn't laugh
so
when
was that
when a tank tried to chicken in a helicopter?
is that the one where is it like after he saw that when you were making those videos where he was he was doing his Rambo your kid
That was my grandkid. That was my
yeah,
grandkid.
he was doing his Rambo shtick.
Yeah.
That's some good grandparenting.
I'd say to him, it's over, Johnny. It's over. He's 4 years old. It's over, Johnny. It's over. He goes, nothing's ever over.
Oh, God. That was so good. I want to
even had him do it on the ground. Where I said, get in the ground and put your hands stretched out and go, get to the chopper. He did that one too.
Oh, that's something else.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Good times.
So what was I gonna? So I did see something worth sharing. Yeah, this would be more for you, Flint. So one of the bad movie reviewers I watch, a lot of them are doing they're like old videos that keep popping up on my feed, years old.
Oh yeah.
But Jason Brandt still does one every week, and there's a fellow from your neck of the woods, John, who does Dark Corners, and his reviews are pretty good. He does some Hammer movies. He did a couple of Santo films. He does a little of everything. Anyway, Jason Brandt did a movie from the Maria Ford collection. And it's like, do I own that movie? Yes, I do. Do I own most of the movies in the Maria Ford collection? Yes, I do. Do I own Maria Ford movies that are not in the Maria Ford collection? Yes, I do. So there's like 2 of the movies from her collection that I don't own. She looks like if Madonna was actually pretty, that's what she would look like. She doesn't have big boobs, but she's also not afraid to show them. And so she was in one of the Strip Teasers movies, Script to Kill, one of the Don Dragon movies where he fights vampires. And so the movie they reviewed was Alien Terminator. And they were like, we love our Alien ripoffs and we love our Terminator ripoffs. Which do you think it's going to be more, Alien or Terminator? Spoiler, it's more Alien. And so they had never heard of her. They didn't know who she was, even though they review bad movies all the time. This was a Corman flick. A lot of her movies were Roger Corman films. And they didn't even know which woman in the movie she was, because on the box, the little picture that says the Maria Ford collection, she's blonde. And then there's like a sexy picture of her at the bottom, and then the movie poster is kind of in the middle. So they couldn't figure out which one which one of the 2 women in the movie she was until like halfway through. Anyway, it was a really funny episode. They definitely gave it the so bad it's good stamp, and said afterwards, we'd love to see more of this Maria Ford collection. So, and I was like, well, that's not even one of the best ones, but there you go. So right now, Clint's looking at Maria Ford.
Yeah, I did. You weren't wrong. The only thing I've been watching is the Norm Show.
The Norm Show?
Yeah, Norm Macdonald, when he had his own sitcom.
Oh, okay.
Back in the 90s. And it lasted 3 seasons, and I think it was sabotaged because they switched this. Do you know the way they switched time slots, Rossi, just to fuck over a show?
Yeah.
If they didn't like the actor or didn't like the people in it. Well, his show was very popular. Then they switched it to a Friday night.
Yeah, and you talk about a show that would never get made now.
Yeah, the Friday night that that's the dead zone because people are out at the bar, you know, after friends after work, or you know, back in the day, and so nothing gets really watched on a Friday night. So they more or less killed the show. But yeah, talk about shows that would never be made today. It's totally norm. You can see how I'm in tears laughing at some of the stuff he's saying, and I'm like, oh my god, and that was the '90s. You would never get away with that today. And you know, it was him, Norman, and this other guy, another writer. You know, they went into the room, and Norm would just say, the writer would say something to him. Well, how about this? And then Norm would just give his most outrageous answer. Yeah, we'll put that in there. So it's totally Norm. I mean, it's just. Yeah, it's so funny. And yeah, some of the things he's saying and doing are just typical Norm, but funny.
Norm
It's just,
Macdonald and Sam Kinison are two comedians that hearing other comedians do impressions of them is almost as funny as hearing the real guy.
yeah. Well, Norm, he even puts a bit of himself in there. There's a Marnie told me that there's a story that where Norm went out and got really drunk, wasted one night, and then the next morning he woke up and he found out he's in rehab. He had no idea how he got there. He was just blind drunk. They actually put that in the show. Yeah, so some of it, they have the dad from Alf. He's his boss on it. They get rid of the old boss after 2 episodes, and then the guy who plays Alf comes in, and he talks a little like Christopher Walken. Hey there, Norm. We need more cowbell. You know, that's the way. It's such a funny show.
Was that Bela Lugosi or was that?
Yeah, probably both.
Christopher Walken.
Hey, Norm, when do we shoot this fucker? But it's a funny show, and all the episodes are on YouTube. All
That's
3
cool.
seasons. Yeah.
Is that how you watched it?
Yeah, I watched it on YouTube. It's I was in tears laughing at some of it, some of his comments and some of the scenarios that would never get away with today. I don't think they even really got away with it back then either. Some of the stuff he was saying.
I mean, if it got sabotaged, I'm sure he pissed off the right people. So
yeah. So that's the only thing I've been watching. I highly recommend it. So if you YouTube search the Norm Show, that's
not
it.
for normies.
Yeah, not for normies. Do you guys want to do the Prog?
Well, I've got a 1 TV series.
Oh, there you go.
I wasn't going to watch it, but I thought, you know what, I haven't got anything else to watch at the moment, so I'm going to have to watch this. So I decided to watch Spartacus, House of Asher. There's all this hoo-ha about the Nubian lass, who is the top fighter in the show.
As she should be.
That's right. Well,
girl power.
I think I've watched 8 episodes now. She's had one fight about 6 episodes in, and she sort of won by default-ish, sort, you know, when things happen. She was getting the shit beaten out of her, but she won. But it's everything I expected from the previous series. You know, lots of cocks, lots of tits, fanny, deaths, beautiful deaths. There's some absolutely fantastic fucking deaths. It's hilarious. But the character of Asher was killed in the series before this, in this proper Spartacus. But they give a little recap of how he didn't die or how he's brought back to life, sort of thing. It's only about a minute at the beginning, which you sort of like, I'll forget that. Let's just start as this as a new series. And it's all the classic stuff, the underhand shit, the fucking the sort of the characters being portrayed are either fucking so innocent you just think fuck, you know, get a grip, or fucking pure horrendous. But there's 3 on one of the other sort of like houses of gladiators. They've got a group of 3 dwarves. Oh my god, they're brilliant. They kill the hero of Asher's house at the very beginning of the series. He thinks he's won, but they all gang up on him again and kill the hero of the top gladiator. So they're looking for a new gladiator. Anyway, the person who's in charge of the gladiators, their trainer, it's a Scottish actor, I think he is. And you know the person who was in that Star Wars series, who was the best thing about it? I can't remember which one it was. It was the male Sith Jedi, the big fucker with the beard. He died in real life.
Oh yeah, the Punisher.
Was he the Punisher? Yeah, he was the Punisher, wasn't he?
He played the Punisher in the second movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Third
him,
movie.
who was that person who
The
died?
third movie, or was it the second movie or third movie, Rossi?
Well, he was in the one after Thomas Jane, but
Yeah, the third movie.
Yeah, because Dolph was the first Punisher.
So this person who plays the person who trains the gladiators, to me, as I'm watching him do his stuff, I'm thinking he could take over that part easily. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be that much different look, the sound of him, everything, the size of him. He's a big brute. Anyway, so there's something happens later on in like series episode 7, 6, 7, 8, and he goes full on mental against 7 gladiators. And he's aiming to kill these 3 dwarves because they've done something right. He gets one of them, swings him round by his legs, and decapitates the top part of his head against a sunken window thing. You know, so he gets him against the wall, and his top bit of his head goes into the gap and doesn't come out. I had to watch that loads of times. I was laughing so much, thinking, "This is just brilliant." I hope it's on. I hope it's on YouTube for people to just go on there and go like, "Gladiator, House of Asher, dwarves being killed," or whatever. It was fucking hilarious how he does it.
Is this Spartacus or is this?
This is Spartacus, House of Asher. So it's the Spartacus story.
So I missed. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's House of Asher. So it's the new one, which everyone was going, I'm not going to watch it. It's all woke, blah, blah, Nubian lass, blah, blah, blah. Well, she's only done a few things. You know what I mean? She's been beaten up and all this, that, and the other. She's got an interesting backstory, which is hindering her progress. I'm sure something. We've only got 2 episodes left, I think, but it's everything that the other series had. And if people don't want to watch it because of the woke thing, I can assure you that's less than 5% of this series. So
you were the one that was complaining it was all woke when you first saw the trailer.
The trailer's terrible. The
trailer makes you think that that's what it is.
The trailer shows nothing of what I've watched apart from the woke stuff. You know what I mean? That's what I can't understand. You've aimed it so badly. You're not going to get loads of people who've watched the stuff beforehand to watch it. You need to edit the trailer to show the lead up to what's happening. You know what I mean? And then you can put the bits of why she is like she is, with the Romans and stuff, and all that. But you need to show there's about 5 main characters. There's Asher, there's her, there's the person who's in charge of the gladiators, and in their group of gladiators, they've got a father and a son, and it's all around them. Apart from the other characters who are around this gladiatorial place, so Caesar's involved in it and all this that they're there. So it's like you need to show more of them rather than her, because she's in it so little. I can't understand it. She's in it so fucking few scenes up to now. I mean, I'm sure in the last 2 episodes we're going to get a lot more of it. But to show that is the main selling point, you're fucking idiots. You've got rid of most of your audience. You know what I mean? For the wrong reason. You know.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, they just don't want the wrong people to watch the show, I guess. And it's funny because I saw that you
either want fucking numbers or you want to go fucking broke.
See, as far as I'm concerned, I saw that trailer and I thought, well, I've already seen Arena, which is part of my Pam Grier collection, so I don't need to see their poor modern remake of that.
Yeah,
you can't beat Pam Grier in that movie.
Would I recommend it?
Yes. I said you can't beat Pam Grier in that movie.
Can't. Yeah, she's usually pretty good no matter what. Anyway, John, would you recommend it?
Yes, I would. Like I say, there's so little of her at the moment, and I thought the backstory is interesting because stuff that happens in the backstory is withholding her from doing certain things, where then she gets beaten up.
Mm-hmm.
There's something, I'll say it, right? In the backstory, her daughter gets taken by, I think it's a Roman, I can't quite remember now off the top of my head, and she gets a spear, and as she throws it to kill the Roman, he lifts the daughter up. and she spears her own daughter. So now we're in the arena stuff, she's using a spear in one of the training sessions, and she's beating up the person who is the other gladiator's son, who's like a very good gladiator. And she goes to throw the spear, but she gets this vision in her head of what she did, so she stops, and so she gets taken. So I'm thinking in the final episode, she'll be in the gladiatorial ring doing a fight, and she'll have to overcome that to survive, because obviously in training you don't kill each other. But yeah, so that's her backstory. There's more to it than just that. But yeah, I would recommend it. Like I say, I just think they promoted it so badly. I don't understand it, because it's the same people who've made the previous ones. So why emphasize something that you know will stop a lot of your audience watching it, but will not bring in any other audience? Because if they didn't watch the previous Spartacuses, why would they come in to watch a gladiatorial stuff just because there's a female character in it? You know what I mean?
Johnny, do you like TV shows about gladiators?
Yes. And all I can say is
I think that was real.
It was real.
Yep. We're
you guys
too real.
Do you guys want to do the Prog?
Real quick.
Fucking hell.
Real quick. So my boss, before I saw Landman last night, the new episode 9. You seen it, John? John? Okay. Flint, you seen it yet?
Oh.
Okay. Are you watching it?
No, you can go ahead.
No. Well, no. I was just asking. I'm just asking. Are you watching it?
No.
Okay. So anyways, so I get this. So before I watched it, my boss sends me this text. Her husband likes it, so she has to hate watch it with him. And she used to be a cheerleader, and she's blonde, so she's really not impressed by those segments of the show. She really hate watches those. So she sends me this text. She says, "Have you seen the new Landman yet?" I said, "No, I'm going to watch it with Dad tonight." She goes, "I want your opinions ASAP." And I was like, "Do they finally show Ali Larter's boobs?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Does Demi Moore's face finally turn to stone?" "No." I said, "Does the Mexican girl die suddenly and Jesus takes her directly to heaven because she's so perfect in every way?" "No." So I'm like, okay. So I for some reason I thought the episode that I had was the next one, and then there was like an episode 10 that they were talking about. Anyway, I thought I had the wrong episode, so I kind of screwed up when I looked it up to see if I had gotten the correct one, and then I saw like right away, like, oh, this must be what she's talking about. And yes, in the current episode 9 is what my boss was talking about, and I think we're going to be talking about that when I see her today. But
about when they kill off John Hamm or something.
Oh, he died in the first season. That's the whole second season's about the aftermath of that. Oh. But I'm going to wait to hear what John's opinion about last night's episode, or the episode I saw last night. So, well, to be continued on that one.
All right, John, you ready?
Yep. Let's rock.
Pew, pew, Barney McGrew, Tuffet, Dibble, Grub.
Prog 2464. We have a cover by Mike Perkins, and it's kind of a boring cover. Just a helmet, but that's why you put all the stuff in the background and make it look like it's raining to try and add some more detail to it. But it's a pretty terrible cover.
Now, I have not mentioned what happened to me in X Smith's reference this cover to let you both know. I wanted to hear, what do you think of the cover, Mr. Ross?
I liked it.
Okay, that's enough for me. Right. So I went into the shop on the Thursday, the day after it had been put on the shelves, because it has no pull anymore for me. And I went down, I saw where the magazines were, and the Prog is normally right next to the magazines. It wasn't. And I thought, all 4 copies can't be sold out already because it's dropped down from about fucking 16. And I'm looking all over the shelves. I'm like, right, it's got to be somewhere. So I'm looking. I can't see it anywhere. I looked in the music rack to the left.
Can I take a guess?
Go on, then.
Was it with the Beano and Dandy?
No. It was on the shelf below, but I couldn't see it, even though it was there right in front of me. I went up to the fucking bloke who was putting out the magazines for today, and I said, "Excuse me, mate, has the 2000 AD come out this week?" And he went, "Oh, yeah, it's on the shelves." I'm like, "Where?" He walks up and he goes, "There." And I'm like, bloody hell, I knew what the cover was. I couldn't even see it. And it was right in front of me in the middle shelves. That tells you how badly it is when you cover up the fucking logo with blood. You can't even see the thing. Now, I'm not a casual fan. I knew what I was looking for, and I couldn't see it right in front of my face because the cover is absolutely garbage. It's bland. There's no fucking dynamic.
Yeah, I didn't like the cover.
Yeah, there's nothing to it, and the top half of the fucking whole comic is nothing. You know, you've obscured the fucking stuff. You know, if I can't see it, how the hell is somebody going to just pick it up by accident? Fucking hell.
Also, the way this would be put on most racks, you would only see the logo on the top. There's so much space until you get to the helmet. It'd be like
exactly
just
Mr.
the logo
Ross.
and yellow. Yeah,
that's exactly why I couldn't see it. It was just a blandness. The logo is melted in with those blood splats all over it. I didn't tell you this until today because I wanted to hear what you thought.
Well, it was easy money for Mike Perkins.
Yeah.
Well. Also, like most 2000 AD readers, you're pushing 60, so it's like maybe there's another reason why you didn't see it.
You like John?
Wait, can I see my eyes? My eyes are not working.
I know people listening to this will probably start yelling at you. Flint, the Dandy is no longer on sale. So I'm like, yeah, you know what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sonic the Hedgehog then.
Yeah. Death of a Judge, Part 1, John Wagner, Mike Perkins, Chris Bly, and Annie Parkhouse.
Dredd is called to a meeting held by the Chief Judge and the Council of Five as they're about to discuss the Mark 8 Mechanismo's return. The Chief Judge is going to step down and head off on his long walk, but before that, and due to mounting losses of judges, he's decided to continue the next phase of the Mechanismo project. Then it looks like a call comes through for any unit to judge down in the vicinity of Nixon Undersked. Joe takes it and finds that Judge Farouk is fatally wounded and she dies in his arms.
John, that's a flashback.
I haven't finished my bit, right?
Okay.
I did say, then it looks like a call comes from. Then after I said dies in his arms, I say, this is the next bit. That didn't happen then, but Joe reminisced about it. And now we're back with the Chief Judge and Council. And he says, are you there? There's Dredd. He's just gone up the street. And he says that the Mark 8s will now be called Mark 8Bs. I thought they might call them they, thems, and that they will have no authority over judges and that lethal force will only be allowed with authorization. Everyone agrees to this, even Dredd, who has no objections. I
just died in your arms tonight.
I love the artwork.
Just returned.
Yeah, I love the artwork, but you know, it just goes to show you that all those stories after the machine rule didn't take place because Logan has resigned as Chief Judge. He wouldn't have waited that long. He would have done it straight after machine rule. So all the Skolex stuff with Henry Flint's art and Gordon Rennie stories, they never happened.
Oh.
Do you know what that last panel, John? Yeah, John, the last panel on the last page with Dredd saying no objection. You know what that reminds me of?
Go on.
Sausages. That's life with the dog. You'll have to look that one up, Rossi. That's life. Sausages. on YouTube.
You see, when Dredd goes into the council room there and he's in the panel with the actual title, is that notepad floating in the air? Because
Looks
he's
like
holding, yeah. Now I've got to say that I thought initially that was happening then, but that's why when I read it again, I went, "Oh, it is a flashback." Well, when I got to the end of it, I realised it was a flashback, and that's why I did the way I said it was the way I said it, because it's a bit weird to put that bit in the middle. It's as though Wagner's been listening to Rennie, thinking, "I need a flashback nowadays to put in my stories." But
well, John, you're absolutely right. That pad is floating. The Dredd isn't holding that, but later on page 2, he's holding it.
yeah,
That's weird.
we shouldn't pick these things up because that's not nice, isn't it? It's not nice to pick up people's artwork and say something's wrong. Although I do see a lot of artists slagging things off constantly all over the web, and I have a little giggle to myself thinking, you don't like it when other people pick you up for quite rightly mistakes.
Yeah.
It just jumps out at me because it looks as though it should be on like a lectern and he's pointing to something, I don't know. But when you, like you say, you turn the page and he's holding it in his hands, later on he's holding it in his hands. Some of the artwork I do like, some of it I don't like. It doesn't work, like on that big splash panel when it's on scene engaging. The size of them and the overturned vehicle to the left makes the characters on that side look like midgets. It's I don't know, the background, the block in the background, either obscure that completely or don't draw it because it looks terrible. I don't know. I feel as though some of these images are taken from actual pictures of people's heads and just like added shade and stuff. I'm probably wrong, but I get that feel with some of the images. Although,
hold on, last page,
yeah.
the last page. You think that the guy's face in the middle, the big face in the middle panel, is based on the Judge Minty actor?
Could be. Who knows? Edmund Dent.
Yeah.
But then you get fantastic panels like the one where he's leaning over Judge Farouk.
Yep.
And weirdly, mentioning that, that's like when in the Judge Minty fan film where Edmund's on the floor and bloody
Greg Staples
is doing that. That's like that whole scene. But then again, any scene like that with two judges and one's in would be the same. I did like the top of that page as well, where he fires the rounds and you see the impacts on each perp. That's quite nice in the circles.
How dare he use real bullets on a protest?
Well, also,
live ammo.
It's funny that Wagner's doing an action scene in flashback that ties directly into the story, whereas some of the other Dredd writers might have them doing some head busting that's totally unrelated to the story at hand, just so they can do the exposition, over the bike radio and give you all the do all the info dump stuff there while something visually exciting is happening instead of standing around talking. So yes.
And to me, if we're going to go into a Wagner epic, which I hope it is, this personally should have started in the Christmas issue to capture people.
Yeah.
You would think.
I agree.
Well, to your point, Flint, so you could buy, so what you're saying is you could buy just the John Wagner graphic novels and get the Dredd story and get a complete, like, together they make like the complete Dredd story, and you don't need to get like the Penitent Man and the Ken Neiman collections and all that stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
They don't count.
Okay.
Okay, Hearn and Shook Power Trip Part 2 by David Barnett, Lee Milmore, Gary Caldwell, and Arnie Parkhouse. And just before you start, the last panel on the first page sums up my view of the story.
Well, for the benefit of our listeners, so Billy Butcher is saying, like, recapping the previous installment in case you didn't buy the Christmas issue for some reason, that he has to go to 6 of these British forest gods to convince them that he's worthy of being the horned god or whatever the fuck. So and the last panel on that page is him going bollocks. So he sulks a little bit, and the lady with all the leaves all over, the tree lady with the leaves all over her, says, well, you know, you only have to do 5 now because I'm the 6th one. So he's like relieved. And Brigantia is the next one. Am I pronouncing it correctly, John?
Well, who knows, but I would say that.
Yeah. So anyway, he may have her knickers, but would have, which would have allowed him to transport over there, but they can't use transport. He has to go by land just so they can drag the story out that much longer.
He was able to transport to her knickers.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be like a Great Felix and his Amazing Underpants story? So anyway, she's a barmaid.
Underwear.
To keep the story like from being too fantastical, she's a barmaid now. And then Hearn's ex-girlfriend with the eye patches showing she's a little bit jealous. And so the little girl is going to stay behind, and the decomposed dead lady is going to teach her how to use her magic. So Hearn hitchhikes to Newcastle. Meanwhile, there's something going on in Westminster where this guy gives another
Westminster.
Westminster.
That's it.
Just Nottingham. So they so this ginger guy gives another guy a file, and the other guy slits his throat, and so that's the subplot. The end.
Not for
Did
me.
you read it, John? Did you read it at all, Flint?
I read it.
Yeah, I read it, but I don't care for it.
Okay.
I read it, and when he got told he has to go and see 6 people, luckily for him, 1 was there on the page. I just thought, oh my god, we got quests.
Quests
another 5 series episode series or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, 5 would be okay. This is going to go on for at least 12 parts.
Yeah. Now the thing is, for me, for the art, you have some really nice images, but then you get some not so nice images. So that always confuses me in the pages. The story-wise, it was boring. Like I say, I don't want to read quest rubbish. And then at the very end, you get. Let me have a look. Let's go there. Now, I would have thought when he said he had the knickers, he would have at least pulled them out of his pocket and sniffed them or something for a laugh. That would have been that would have been funny, right?
Oh,
put it on the dog's head.
I also think when he's driving up and there's the Angel of the North, the van being pure white on that side was a bit much for me. At least put the beginning with some fake name of a firm or something. You know, like it spoils the layout of that panel to me personally.
Oh yeah.
Also, when the female woman hands the files over and says, "I need them back by 5 o'clock," blah 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 blah, then he gets. Well, it looks like he gets killed. Who knows if he's going to be like a zombie type character next week? But what's going to happen at 5 o'clock when she needs those files back because they're top secret? And let's say he has to kill her. Well, then files are still going to go back somewhere, haven't they? So I didn't get how flippant and easy that part is. But I might be completely wrong when I open next prog. But
it takes a page and a half to build up to that too. So it's like
yeah. But yeah, and I've hitchhiked up to the northeast, and he's supposed to be down. Where's he down? He looks like he's in Somerset area, somewhere like that. You have to be very close to the northeast to be seeing A1M Newcastle to begin with. So I don't know. But
It
that's
seems,
just me
it feels
being a
like it takes
nitpicker.
place in the same universe as that Black Slime, and the one about the courier
Courier, yeah.
and
Oh,
yeah.
look, don't give them ideas, because this is all going to tie in about 3 years' time. Then, we're going to get that Prog, and there'll be 3 stories, and they'll all fold into each other.
And it feels like it's akin to Sandman, where there's like fantastical characters, but it's mostly very. I heard that without going on too far of a tangent, there's this genre called cozy fantasy, which is basically little soap opera-y stuff that happens in villages where people do magic, and somebody's an elf and somebody's a fairy. It's like sitcom meets streaming TV show, drama meets slice of life, but they do magic stuff for people who like to play D&D but don't want all the fighting and killing shit that used to be part of it. And that's kind of what this reminds me of. So there you go.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Okay. We have Young Death, The Deal, Keck W, Mike Dowling, and Simon Boland.
Is this me, John, or is this you?
I thought you'd love a bit of actual Judge World stuff, so yeah.
Oh, I thought you're the judge man. So okay. So there's this takes place on Dead World. It's a prequel. They find a corpse that's had the skin flayed from the bones, and there looks like some intestines that spell out mortician, because on Dead World they use Roman letters like we do. So Sidney Eth is investigating the crime, and they think they're trying to figure out, I'm guessing, what it is: an undertaker, a doctor, a veterinarian. But Sidney Eth knows that it's an amateur, and he has a rival. So he investigates, and I don't know why he goes back to his apartment, reads the book. Oh, okay, I see what happens here. All right. So he goes to the college where the morticians get taught, and runs into his rival, who's wearing the Judge Mortis mask. And basically, the rest of the story is about him making an alliance with this Judge Mortis alternate version character. And he's kind of putting the band back together. Well, actually putting the band together for the first time. So it's Judge Mortis's origin story, the end.
Well, I was shocked when I read the end just then, because I was hoping it was going to continue at least a few more progs. I did get the feel of Dexter with his dad at the very end, when he's told not to kill for a while, because that's what his dad was saying, like, oh, you need to be able to control this black, what I can't remember what term he used, or something very similar along those lines. I quite enjoyed this one. It was obviously who the character was, as we were going straight away, sort of thing. The artwork was really nice, really stylish. Some nice imagery, like on that first page, bottom right panel, when we're sort of slightly lower than the character looking up, and you've got that sort of like the highbrow effect with the light. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It just saddened me that it was just the one part. I wanted more. I wanted to see how he would sort of like bring him into the group a bit better, unless we're going to get this on every character and then we're going to continue.
Yeah, that's what I think it was in the Nerve Center. I read somewhere that they're going to go through each of the other Dark Judges with a different artist,
Right.
and put the band together like that.
I see.
Yeah, Mike Dowling's artwork is really good. It's fantastic. All right, Azimuth, Cornered, Part 1, Dan Abnett, Tazio Benton, Matt Soff, and Rob Steen.
Okay, there's a lot of reading going on. So the broad strokes are that the basilisk has come and wiped everything out, and the characters are kind of recapping. They've got this feeling of dread, and I don't mean Judge Dredd. Anderson's lost her powers, but she can still sense this dread. The walls are sort of disintegrating and derezzing around them. They're walking around in this labyrinth that kind of is circling around on itself again. And Susie 9mm mentioned something about the Monitor, which guards this labyrinth. And she says, just to keep going forward and don't look back, don't look back. And then they show the shadow of the thing. And then the last panel, they show them going forward, and it looks like a Minotaur type bull creature in the background.
Yes.
I love the artwork. I love the artwork, and I love the play on words, and I like that they're going around in circles. And the don't look back thing, the threat. I liked everything about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought the artwork was excellent. I thought it reminded me, obviously, deliberately, them pieces of art where the stairs go all over the place and they're upside down and stuff.
The Escher.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that, and it does give a feel of sort of like claustrophobia, as they're saying it's closing in. Nice use of panels where they're all higgledy-piggledy. You know what I mean? They've got like broken edges and sort of like, I don't know what you would call some of the edges. But yeah, everything's done excellently by the artist to convey what the writer is telling them. So yeah, really enjoyed it, and I did enjoy looking back at the previous page to see when they said, "Oh, we've gone round in circles." I went, right, where's the other dead skeleton figures? Ah, there it is. I'm like, yep, you're correct. So it's nice to sort of get that sort of play on the story. And then at the end, as you say, Mr. Ross, when the Minotaur character makes its scene, and they're all panicking because it's right behind them. Very,
But
very
they can't look at
intense.
it.
That's right.
Yeah. I see what I didn't even notice the jaggedy edges showing the panels till you mentioned it. Yeah, it's to show it's like everything's
Deteriorating.
derezzing.
Yeah.
So they put a huge amount of effort into this. The thing about Azimuth is they give you the illusion that the story is moving forward, and it's just kind of like, oh, here's another bunch of clever stuff. But yeah, I mean, the artwork is great. They put a huge Dan Abnett put a huge amount of effort into the story. It's just characters walking around, but it's interesting, which is a tough act to pull off. And yeah, not bad at all. Enjoyed that.
Talking about great artwork, The Discarded Part 2, Peter Milligan, Kieran McKeown, Jim Boswell, and Simon Boland.
Banksy is using his powers, which inspires the prisoners, and they rise up to fight the Trash Masters. As the prisoners use weapons and Molotov cocktails, he uses the chip to lift up junk cars and throws them at those very same Trash Masters, destroying some. At the same time, his daughter is being dropped into the island to get close to him and destroy the chip. To do this, she has a small explosive device, just visibly planted under her skin on her chest.
Well,
yep.
I like the artwork.
Yeah, the artwork's excellent, and it's good to know that another character has daddy issues.
Yeah.
And I groaned when we saw the implant. It's obvious. Why would you have? It's so obvious you can see it. Not saying that you know where it is, but let's just say somebody or something punches there on the chest to her explosive device. It's well done, isn't it? It could have been anywhere on it, but no, put it in some place where it's obvious there's something there. You can see it.
Having said that, I would argue that this could be the best artwork in the Prog right now, and we were kind of like, we approached this with some trepidation because Peter Milligan is one of those.
Milligan is crap.
Well, he's one of those legacy guys that they feel they owe a debt to.
He outran his welcome a long time ago.
Right. So we were kind of like, but the artwork's really good and could carry it. But so far, the story's not been bad either. It's been interesting. It's definitely
Give
been a
it
step
time.
up from. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like you get to episode 20 or however long they want to drag it out. It's like, oh God, stop. We'll see. I mean, maybe who knows? Maybe he got off drugs or something, and it's. I'm just kidding. I kid because I love. But yeah, so far that's it's we don't have anything to worry about. It seems to be like it's going along pretty well.
All right, I think that's it. I think we're done. What was your favorite?
Well, there's only one story that made me sad to see it actually ended. I want to see more. Everything about it, the tale, the art, just the atmosphere of it. Young Death. I was just, like I say, sad to see we're only going to get that one piece of it.
What was yours, Rossi?
It's going to be Dread because I have faith that it's going to build up to something. But part of this, I would have to say the trash one's like my second favorite.
Well, I'll go for Azimuth because I thought it was pretty clever. And they're running around in circles, how things are deteriorating, and that's something that you notice as you go through it. And don't look back on the creature, the big bad. So that'll be my favorite. So 3 different favorite stories.
Yes.
Well, I mean the three these 3 favorites were my 3 favorites, but for different reasons. Like if I were to balance them out differently, it's like I could go with John, I could go with Clint. So I'm not like stuck on. I'm not going to say you're wrong on either one of those. So it's not like you would have picked Turn and Shuck.
Yeah. Good grief.
It's what though, it's not that bad. Like again, it doesn't seem that bad now because there's 3 other pretty good stories floating around the top of it. Like you can have a story like that's been my argument all along. You can have a story like Hearn and Chuck as long as it's the 5th story in the Prog, but like for the past few years, it's like all the stories have been like that. Well, it's been the majority of the stories have been like that. It's like these slow burns, or they trying to be funny, or the concept feels like it's more for a streaming show than for a comic book where you could draw things. And it's like, there you go. In fact, I didn't get through all of it, and I probably won't finish it, but I started a video about Sandman, and the guy was talking about how unfilmable it was, or how unadaptable it was, because originally they started out making it like a movie, but there's not like one big story to make a movie out of. And one of the
You're talking
writers,
about Neil Gaiman's Sandman, right?
Neil Gaiman's Sandman, yes. So there was not like one big mega story that runs the whole thing. So one of the writers tried to make it into like an action superhero thing, even though he hadn't really even really read the comic or didn't understand it. And then some writer came in and said, "Oh, well, we'll make it into it should be a TV series, and then we could make each episode like a issue of the comic, blah blah blah." But the way it stumbled was that there's so like the visuals. You could draw the pumpkin head guy, and you can draw Hell, and just whatever Neil Gaiman writes, the writer can draw it for the same amount, for the same cost of ink and pen and paper as anything else, just people in a diner or mundane things. And to actually film that or bring that to the screen costs like tons of money with special effects and design, pre-production, post-production, blah 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 blah. And so the comic, you get like this huge spectacle that doesn't cost a lot to actually produce, the story that doesn't cost a lot to produce, versus to try to adapt it. That's what makes it unadaptable. And that's again like with Huck and Churn and Shuck, or Huck and Tom, and whatever the fuck. It's just so, like anything you could watch on streaming, there's like a few interesting special fantastical effects things, and the rest of it's just people in t-shirts and beanie hats and a dog. And same thing with the courier story. It's like, it's just people doing soap opera stuff, and oh boy, there's a vampire, and the monsters show up in a couple of pages, and that's it. So anyway, at least the trash story's got like a bunch of shit that would not be easy to film. It's getting to be kind of epic.
Yeah. All right. Anything you can say before we hit the road?
I think I'm going to go and stand outside of the street and hail abuse at people in cars and see what happens.
In cars.
Do it to police officers.
Yes.
Yep. There you go. And find out, John. Find out.